Hello everyone, this video is for the explanations of the topic what can we learn from the past. This one is in Unit 6 Society and Family, which you can find in even terms. If we go in this folder, we will see the handout here. You need to download this. And also you need to download two audio files. One is for skills focus and the other is for dictation. There is also a quiz. Before you start doing the tasks in the handout, do the quiz, because this quiz is about the vocabulary that you need to know while you are doing the tasks. It will be helpful for you when you are doing the tasks. And let's go and see the handout. Here we have skills focus. Speakers usually present a lecture by first telling the big idea or topic and then supporting it with main ideas. So they first start telling the topic, then they support the topic with main ideas. They often introduce main ideas with numbers of phrases that signal order. When you hear words that show order, you should listen very carefully for a main idea. For example, you may hear, first, I want to talk about. My first point is, my second point is, next, I'd like to mention, finally, I'd like to talk about, in conclusion, and my last point is that, so for this section, you need to listen to the mini lecture and take notes and try to write down the topic and the main ideas. So the topic and the main ideas supporting the topic. And the next section is better to do the dictation exercise. After you do the dictation, you need to watch the lecture and complete the notes in this table. So to complete the notes here, you need to watch the lecture that you can find in the media album. Okay. Here, what can we learn from the past? So you should download this video and watch, take notes, fill in the table and fill in this table, take notes, and then you will need to refer to these notes when you are answering the questions. Here, if you look at this table, you will see there are 4 columns, and here the title is Archaeological Discoveries. So we understand that the lecture is about some archaeological discoveries. And here in the first row, you see the discovery. So the first is Khipu, the third is petroglyphs, and we don't know the second, it is not written here, so you need to note down this. And for these 3 archaeological discoveries, you need to complete this form answering these questions here. So where were they found, who used them, and what material was it made of, and how was it used, or how were they used, and what it tells us about that society, what clues do they give us about the society. So if we proceed here, we will see the questions. So let's read the first one. Why are archaeological discoveries important? So what is the reason that they are important. What do they tell us? So you need to note down the importance of archaeological discoveries. And what do the three archaeological discoveries tell about their societies? So here in the table, we don't know the second one, but we know Khipu, the second one, and Petroglyphs. So what do these three discoveries tell us about their societies? And what is Caral Peru? Why is Caral Peru an important site, an important area? You need to write this. And what system did they use in Peru? So basically, a system is mentioned in the video. So what system did they use in Peru? And what does it say about the society? What do we learn from this system, about the society? Do we know now what they are exactly counting? So now, today, do we know what they were exactly counting? And what was discovered in England? Okay, so we know the place, but you need to write down the discovery that was made in England and what makes it interesting. Why was it, or why is it interesting? So what is the reason behind its shape and size according to archaeologists? So archaeologists make a comment about the size, about the discovery's shape and size. So what is the reason behind its shape and size? Why is it in that shape and size? You need to note down that. And where were petroglyphs discovered? This time we know that the discovery is petroglyphs, and you need to note down the location. Okay, let me just put this in bold. And how did the people pass their knowledge? So we understand that people shared their information, but what way did they use to share their information? To share their knowledge. What were these people interested in? Okay. So basically we will understand from the discovery that these people were interested in something. Something was important for these people. Okay, and why does the lecturer end the lecture with bon voyage? Okay, what does the lecturer mean by saying bon voyage? Let's check the answers now. For the SICIS focus, you need to listen to the mini lecture to note down the topic and the main ideas. Okay, let's look at here. Today I want to talk about how we know that ancient people lived in these mountains. So this is the topic of the lecture. There are two ways. First, here there is a number phrase. We have found parts of early houses. After first, we would expect a main idea. Here, Second, there is another number of phrase. We have found skeletons or bones of people nearby, and this is the second main idea. Okay. After this section, you were supposed to do the dictation, and let me show the sentences here. Okay, please check these sentences with yours. And let's move on. So let's answer the questions in the second part, the questions about the lecture video. Okay, why are archaeological discoveries important? Let's go here. So, yeah, these discoveries are important for research because they link us to our ancestors. So here is the answer. So we need to write it here. Because archaeological discoveries are important because they link us to our ancestors. And second one, what do the three archaeological discoveries tell about their societies? Let's check here. The three discoveries you will hear about today tell us something about one society's ancient accounting practices, another's ancient rituals, and a third's written language. So basically this part is the answer for the second question. Okay. And why is Caral, Peru an important site? Let's see it. Okay. So yeah, okay. Our first stop will take us to a site in Caral, Peru in South America. Here we will look at a recent discovery about a group of people called the Incas. Why is this site important? Well, it shows us that the Incas were very interested in accounting. So this is the answer for the third question. So, because this site is important because it showed Incas were very interested in accounting. And what system did they use in Peru? What does it say about the society? Let's check here. So, archaeologists have found that the Incas used a very detailed system of colored strings for keeping records and counting things. They called the system of colored strings quipu. Okay, so the name of the system is quipu. Just write this. And the quipu tells us that the Incas were interested in organizing their world and keeping track of finances or maybe events of some type. We know that the system consisted of different colors and lengths of string and knots in the strings. Okay, so yeah, let's highlight here some important parts. They were interested in organizing their world, keeping tracks of finances or events of some type. And yeah, the system was consisted of different colors and lengths of strings and knots on the strings. Yeah. And do we know now what they were exactly counting? Let's see here. Okay. So here. Don't you wonder what they were counting? Archaeologists do too, and they are using computers to try to discover the code or system of the quipu. So here we understand that today we don't know what Incas were exactly counting. Okay. What was discovered in England and what makes it interesting? Let's see here. Let's make another stop, this time in England. Here we find Stonehenge. So Stonehenge was discovered in England. And see here, archaeologists believe that Stonehenge was used for ceremonies. The size of Stonehenge tells us that human rituals were significant to these ancient people, just like rituals are important for many people today. Okay, so they discovered a Stonehenge in England, and the stones are huge and much too heavy for people to lift. So let's find this here. Okay. Here, these stones are huge and much too heavy for people to lift. And what is the reason behind its shape and size according to the archaeologists? So we have just checked this part here. They believe that Stonehenge was used for ceremonies, and the size of it tells us that human rituals were significant to these ancient people, just like they are significant for us today. And next, where were petroglyphs discovered? Let's check here. So our final stop is Easter Island, a very small piece of land in the Pacific Ocean. So petroglyphs were discovered in Easter Island, a very small piece of land in the Pacific Ocean. How did the people pass their information, their knowledge, So one way was the use of petroglyphs. These are pictures or symbols carved into stone and with a knife or tool. Many of these carved pictures tell us about hunting practices, for example. Others show birds or birdmen, which tells us that birds were very important to the ancient people of this island. So, yes, petroglyphs tell us. So, petroglyphs was the way that people used to pass their knowledge, and they were pictures and symbols carved into stone, and so they were about hunting practices, for example. And some others show birds or birdmen, which tells us birds were very important to the ancient people of the island. And what were these people interested in? So, petroglyphs tell us that these people were interested in three things. One, communicating their ideas and stories. Two, learning. And three, recording information. Okay, there you go. Okay, so communicating their ideas and stories, learning, and recording information. These people were interested in these three things. Okay, finally, why does the lecturer end the lecture with bon voyage? So, what is your answer to this? What's your opinion about this question? So, you need to answer this question with your own words. In the beginning, lecture says travel is not just for fun, and someone can learn a lot of things when traveling.